comic.
Hello, everybody out there in Radio Land. Welcome to ViperTV Live. How's it going? Today we got a special treat because we have the mighty librarian joining us. Actually,
Hi, friends.
So not only will I'll be answering your questions today, but also somebody far more educated and learned than me.
Oops.
But you'll definitely get two different perspectives. So feel free to ask any questions, and you're going to get something from the both of us. And we're going to continue on our quest. We just recently found out that we could upgrade Leonidas's spear because I'm of the bloodline, and I've discovered that there's an entire cult that's running the world of ancient Greece, which is it's really, really crazy if you look at this game and a sort of modern society. There's so many parallels that it's not even funny.
Was Leonidas the one in the 300?
Yes, that's correct. That was the king of the Spartans.
Thought so.
In fact,
I know some things.
We even went to Thermopylae in this game, and we went there, saw the actual hot gates of Thermopylae, and I was giving an in-depth history lesson, and it was right when we found out Charlie Kirk got shot.
Ooh.
So, like, I'm sitting here giving this interactive, lesson on on the hot gates of Thermopylae, and all of a sudden it just shows up in the chat, and I'm like, great.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Killed a vibe. Yeah, that was a wild week. His death, well, not, it's the aftermath out of it, fit in really well with the class I'm teaching. Not so much about like him as a person, but like how the news cycle took over on 9/11, because we're talking about algorithms and social media, and like half the class had no idea who Charlie Kirk was, because these are like 18, 19-year-olds. These are mostly freshmen.
Right.
And half the class didn't know that a school shooting also happened. And I said, what else is today? Like, what's going on? What have you seen in your social media feeds? Not one of them said anything about 9/11. And I'm like,
oh,
wow.
boy.
So, like, but, you know, it fit in really, really well with, like, the whole point of algorithms and how you fall into an information silo. Because as soon as, like, I told them to go look at something on TikTok on 9/11, and then all of a sudden they started seeing all the 9/11 content. So, like, it worked out perfectly. You know, not saying anything about anything, but it was a teachable moment.
Well, between that and we were deep in the coverage of the Epstein files. And then all of a sudden, well, the news cycle certainly did change. We got a bit of a weird connection, y'all, so it's okay.
Did that reach, like, did his death reach Germany and Europe at all?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Do people know him there?
Yeah. And, well, they used it in England as because, like, you know, they got the whole reform movement. They're trying to, basically, like, they're trying to MAGA right now. Like with Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
Basically, so that just riled a whole bunch of them up who never ever really spoke about Charlie Kirk, but all of a sudden they could use that as a, like, it's very Horst Wessel-y, you know what I mean? I think that's probably something you should teach to your children right now, is Horst Wessel.
Yeah. You know, and like, so on my personal TikTok, and I say that because I do have social media that's tied into, like, work for various reasons. But, like, I had posted about that encounter that I had in the elevator with this chick who, I guess it's because I'm the color of copy paper. She thought I was a safe space. But, like, because why would you just come, like, that's pretty bold to come up to somebody
Yeah.
you don't know. And she was talking to me like she knew me. So I automatically thought she worked at the library. Now, I don't know everybody that works at the library outside of the library department, because there's lots of departments that work in the library, because all well-intentioned programs that the administration comes up with go to die at the library. So we have like lots of random shit that goes on here as part of like random initiatives that they all think, oh, let's put it in the library because why? Of course it belongs there. Anyway, I digress. So I assumed at first she was faculty. And I assumed like the way she started it, she's like, did you hear about that college professor who talked about Charlie Kirk? And I'm assuming like he made some like unhinged statement about Charlie Kirk. And I was just like, what? No. And I'm listening to my audiobook. I'm listening to the Zodiac Academy first off. So like I'm trying to squeeze in an extra chapter, and like I'm not in a headspace of having intelligent conversation because that book series is unhinged, okay? So like, but then she like shoves her phone in my face with the screenshot, so I'm reading it. And it was just a fairly benign opinion. He just said like, it's hard to feel sympathy for somebody who made his career and millions of dollars off of hate speech, and you know, it was along those lines.
Well, if there's one thing bigots,
obviously you could tell.
If there's one thing bigots really don't like is having a mirror held up to them, not just because of the cowardice, but also it reminds them that they're just not liked. There's a reason that they're bigots. You know, they don't get invited to parties because they're assholes.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with free speech. It's you're an asshole.
Yeah,
okay, so first of all,
you fucking suck as a person.
So like with this chick, what a lot of MAGA, a lot of people in general don't understand is that professors, faculty of public universities are allowed to have not only opinions, but they're allowed to express those opinions. We're allowed to go to protests. It explicitly states it in our employee handbook that we can do say whatever we want. But the caveat, the big caveat, is that you cannot connect your opinion to the institution.
Yeah.
So you can't like act like you're a representative of whatever university or whatever university system that this professor, or I mean any professor, belongs to. And that's really across the board when it comes to public universities. Now, private universities have a little bit more like leash, but even there, you got to get academics to want to teach there. So even most private universities are like, take that stance as well. So this cat, I would have never known he was a professor here, because I hate to break it to like MAGA, we don't all know each other. Like I work at a relatively smaller institution.
You don't meet at the eyes wide shut and fucking weird password orgy.
No.
Be like, what's the password? Like, Professor.
In fact, like most universities have an information silo problem within themselves, because typically you stick to your own department because like, you know, it's just kind of the nature of what you do. And it's a problem here. It's a problem in a lot of different universities. But anyway, so I'm just, I'm clearly not understanding, because why, A, she's coming up to me like she knows me. B, you're in a library, so you have to like have some semblance that the librarians that work here have a small L liberal mindset in, okay, that's his opinion. Like, what do you want from me? What do you want me to do about it? So I asked her, was he fired? Like, because I hadn't heard about it. I didn't know who the dude was. I didn't know anything about it. I'm just trying to listen to the Zodiac Academy in my ears. And she's preventing me from that. And she goes, no, but he should. And then I'm like, oh, I see where this is going.
Oh,
and
it's one of those.
And then she goes, looks me cold in the eye and was like, and if you know anything about Charlie Kirk, he's nothing but love. And he preaches the Bible and blah, 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 blah. And I, okay, I have two mindsets. If we're in public, shit just comes out of my mouth. Most of the time.
Yeah.
If we're at work, I have a thread of self-control because I need my job.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to, and because I'm a librarian and college professor, I do have to tolerate respectful positions that I do not agree with. And while I think, I have my opinions on him, and I'm already developing opinions on her, she hasn't been like disrespectful. She hasn't been hateful to me about it. She's just assuming I feel the same way. So I'm like holding on to, but that thread is snapping. It's starting to snap because she's just going on. So finally, thank God it's only a 2-floor elevator ride. The door is open. I'm like, well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree on Charlie Kirk. And I walk away. So I'm just like, all right, this is weird. So then she corners my boss, also the color of copy paper. So I'm assuming she felt he was a safe space. Librarian, if you are expecting MAGA sentiment from librarians, 99% of the time, you won't get it. Like we will tolerate the, opinions, but we're not gonna, if you expect us to join in, you're gonna be disappointed. Because most of us believe in inclusion and not being an asshole.
Well, and the ability to actually, research, the ability to examine history, the ability to, this cultist is unprotected. Just the ability to actually use facts and data and not the gaslit version like we saw in Congress today with Kash Patel. Oh my God. Dude, they're going to try to spin everything that they can about the shooter, to try to foment as much reason for them to I don't know, for lack of better words, ban the left. However,
yeah, from what? What
just designating quote unquote Antifa as a terrorist group, and it's good luck with that.
God.
But you know what that actually says when the fascists are the ones saying that Antifa is a terror group. They won't say that they're fascists, but they'll say that anti-fascists are terrorists. Is that just I don't know, confession without really trying? Last I checked,
I would love for them to come to the realization that Antifa isn't a group. It's kind of a mindset. You don't see people having Antifa meetings because it's not a group.
That's the thing, is they can then blanket because they're, if there's no specific leader, you're just part of Antifa, you know what I mean? So I think it's really important that people need to start contacting their Congress people to really start talking about this, getting on shows, getting on podcasts, that kind of thing, because the right wing right now is they're not losing any opportunity that they can to message lies right now as fast as they possibly can. And, obviously there's going to be a trial and, the truth is going to come out. But the thing is that, in the court of public opinion, that can end up getting people, lynched, and then there's people losing their jobs and shit. The shit is cray-cray.
And so the president of the university, this has gone up. This chick is trying to organize a protest against the professor, which I'm just good luck getting this group of faculty to get out of
Cultist
it.
down.
This faculty is so overworked and so overloaded with course loads that good fucking luck you're gonna get any of us to come out for that shit. We don't even get out. We barely get out for the shit we do care about. You want us to protest on one of our own that we believe in free speech, so why would we protest that? It's not like he said anything that's all, he just said it's hard to feel sympathy for somebody who built his life on hate. And,
right.
Whether you love Charlie Kirk or hate him, Like, I'm sorry, that's just doesn't rise to the level of, oh my God. Like, so anyway, this incident has worked its way up to the college president, which isn't that hard to do because we're a relatively small to medium-sized university. But it's worked its way up to the university system's chancellor, okay, who is a former governor of Georgia. So this shit gets even wilder because Sonny Perdue, I had serious doubts about the guy when he took the job because he has no higher ed experience and he's going to run the entire university system of Georgia. But actually, he's actually been a pretty cool dude for the most part. Like, he actually makes some fairly intelligent decisions. I was expecting way worse. And so he issued a statement about this. And he's just like and I have a feeling like if MAGA really like pushes this, I have a feeling they might start attacking him because he's just like, it's horrible what happened to Charlie Kirk, but we have to respect everybody's opinions, and college is meant for diversified opinions. And I was like, all right, that's a fair, like, what else do you want him to say to something that really wasn't all that serious? And so then I made a TikTok about it because it's really bothered me that like somebody just like at work, and the person I find out is a student, she doesn't work here. She must just see me walking around, or like I don't know if she actually knows me, but she certainly was talking to me like she knew me. So who knows? But like, I made a TikTok about it, just like, and so then. Of course, Mag is like, the professor should be fired. And this one cat, I was just like, dude, you were fucking delusional. And I'm glad we had a chance to talk, Skip, because let me tell you, I gotta vent some shit about.
Let me tell you, these contrarians, okay. they just get off on wasting your time. That's a big thing.
Like, when it comes to higher education, okay, these aren't children. These are 18 and older 99% of the time. Sure, sometimes you have dual enrollments from high school, but they're usually taking English 1101 or Math 101. They're taking like real basic classes to get them out of the way so that they can like graduate faster when they do get to college. And it's a cheap way to like get credits instead of doing the AP route, which is bullshit. And that's a whole other discussion. But so anyway, I would say 99% of our students are 18 and older. Now, where I work in particular, we have a huge demographic that are non-traditional, that are grown-ass adults, okay? So this cat on my TikTok starts going off about how, like, professors are influencing young minds. And I'm just like, well, dude, this ain't 13th grade, okay? This is college, okay? If some kid's brain broke over that comment, then they don't belong in college, because college is going to challenge your beliefs and ideas. I went to a very New York liberal, upstate New York college, and how I learned history of the Civil War, I grew up with the North, smashed the South, and I grew up with that kind of history. And I learned some things when I took the Civil War at the college level, and it knocked me down a peg on the reality of the situation. Okay.
Yeah, so much of it was about you learn how much of it was about economics.
Yeah, and how much of it was a little bit of luck and a lot of incompetence of generals, and like there was a lot in the North. Damn near lost the war, and they don't teach you that.
Well, the North damn near lost the war if it wasn't for the fact that they had black ex-slaves come fight for them.
Well, they also, like, Lincoln had a lot of incompetent generals, like, very, very serious incompetence.
Well, I mean, also, he was one of the first people to, honest to God, suspend habeas corpus too.
Yeah, so like. So anyway, why I say that is, like, college is going to challenge your mind, whether you're a liberal or a conservative. It's going to challenge what you believe in. And because high school can't cover everything about everything. And that's why you take specific classes for an entire semester on just the Civil War, or just about, academic libraries, or just, whatever your major is, you're going to take a course on a very narrowed, so you can study the fuck out of it. That's the whole point of college. And it's meant to be hard. It's meant to be challenging. So this cat is telling me, is all worried about all the young minds that are going to be corrupted by this professor. And I'm just like, sir, first of all, there is no 18-year-old that is on Facebook reading, like following their English professor's post on a news, because this was a comment made on our local paper's website. So like, it was how you figured out, you'd have to like really look at his comment to see where he worked and what he did to like, you know that. So, and I'm like, if any brains broke, then they don't belong in college, because like, I'm sorry, you're an adult. You need to start learning things that may or may not, like, you know, stop having this snowflake mentality.
Yeah, you need to challenge your intellectual capacity and your already preformed, not just thoughts, but also judgments and stereotypes that you might have got from, you know, your environment that you were raised in, because, you know, few things give you a chance to embrace diverse thought, like going to somewhere where you don't know anybody, who everybody comes from different places. I mean, the military is like college for poor people, you know?
It's a fair point. Yeah, it's a fair point.
I'm seeing in the chat. Hold on a second. I'm seeing in the chat, speaking of lynching, 2 black men were lynched in Mississippi last night. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I saw that. But they're ruling it a quote-unquote suicide in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be in an area of college campus where there were no cameras. So somebody had to know about that.
Yeah, sorry, nuts. I'm going to need some more evidence to believe that bullshit. But anyway, like real quick, the end of the TikTok comments was, this guy says, well, 18-year-olds don't just magically become adults once they hit 18. Actually, the law says they do.
Yeah, according to selective service in the draft, then that's the case.
Like, you know, you can send an 18-year-old to a war zone. In some states, they want to let 16-year-olds get married. Now, do I think 18-year-olds are the most mature of the adult population? Absolutely not. I've been teaching them for well over 10 years. I know exactly what an 18-year-old mind, how brilliant it can be, and how hopeful and wonder, and how fucking stupid these kids can be. Like, I know the spectrum, but like, so I stopped answering to him all of that because I was just like, but I did say, it is amazing the power you think I hold over young people's minds. Like, if they hung to my every word and became these mindless zombies that you think that college like, do you understand the level of work? Like, you know, they wouldn't use Chat GPT to try to like bullshit their way through a class. Like, they would, like, you are giving me far too much credit and power of my classroom. And, you know, if there's other career paths, if you're not ready to, you know, have your beliefs challenged, or you're too fucking immature, or you can't do the work, a traditional 4-year degree when you're 18 is not for every 18-year-old. My dad got his 4-year degree when he was, I don't know, we graduated the same year. So, like, there's trade schools, there's lots of different career paths that you can take. It doesn't have, like, and I really wish we could change that mindset, that college isn't the only path towards education and career development. Like,
I did the vocational route.
Yeah, like that's like, you know, not everybody needs to, like, or wants or should. Not every 18-year-old is ready for college. Like, you know, my dad tried college when he was 18 and he dropped out. And then when he was like, how old was he? He had to have been like 50 something when he finally finished his degree.
I got to point out,
it's not for everybody.
I got to point out just real quick that my going to vocational trade school, and I just wanted to let you know that I was also studying to become an electrician, just like Tyler Robinson. I didn't get radicalized, gang. I didn't. my vocational teachings of being being around nothing but conservative electricians who are obsessed with sports did not radicalize me into being a liberal that would then make me want to turn a gun on Charlie Kirk. Just letting you all know that, as you were saying, Mighty Librarian.
Oh no, and I kind of had the opposite. I kind of like got a more, maybe a because I didn't grow up rich or even upper middle class by any stretch, but I was zoned into the school of the wealthy, affluent. So like, I guess compared to them, I was like trailer trash. But like, you know, we were just like like the average middle class of our area. So like when I went to college, I learned what poverty looks like because it was a college in the middle of fucking nowhere with people who got full scholarships in small towns in the middle of fucking nowhere. Because I'm coming from just outside New York City, and these, you know, I'd never seen what rural America, like living in rural areas, looked like. So like I learned, I guess I don't want to say, I don't want to, even though it is a more conservative area for New York in general, it's at least Stefanik's district, if that helps. But like, you know, I like, so it works both ways. And that's why college kids, I think people complain about their kids becoming liberal. It's not that their minds are like melding into like wanting to worship like, you know, Marx or anything. It's just they're learning that the things that they're told to fear aren't really things to fear.
Like I said, the military is like college for poor people. Like going to the military taught me that all the racist bullshit that I was taught was fucking just a stupid lie, quite honestly. No other way to really put it without being so crass.
Like that's a good like, yeah, I don't know if I would say college for poor. It definitely diversifies your gene pool of people that you meet, because like, I mean, I lived in Hawaii for a bunch of years because of the military, and like I would have never known about that subculture of the US and like all the issues that are both interesting. And you'd like MAGA, if MAGA knew about Hawaiian issues and the things like the racial tensions that exist
my
there,
buddy Mike,
they would lose their mind.
He would get called Holly and beat up all the time.
There's an area of Hawaii, I think it's Waimea. It's in the northwest of the island. And my boss, I worked in an accounting firm, okay? So these are like professionals. My boss looked me cold in the eye and was like, Allison, you know not to go to Waimea, right? And I was like, yes, I know. Everyone told me. Because like, you're like, if you are white, you're not appreciated there. It's just understood.
And
so
that's the kind of thing that like they cry about.
And then there's this
like
one.
They were colonized. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Also, just wanted to let you know, I'm reading all your things in the chat. Just wanted to let you all know that I'm not ignoring you. If you have a direct question for one of us, just go ahead and put a couple exclamation marks in front of your question in the chat so I can see it, as opposed to everybody else just, you know, sort of communicating. As you were saying, Mighty Librarian?
Oh, no, there's this, in Hawaii, there is this private school. Okay, so in Hawaii, the Bishop family is like one of the big colonizing families of Hawaii back in the 1800s. So there's a lot of shit named Bishop. Yeah. So because they felt bad for like, you know, to, you know, PR themselves into history a little bit better, they created a lot of funds and endowments and all that thing for the Hawaiian people. One thing they did was they set
Rockefeller-esque, as you were saying.
It's very Rockefeller, Carnegie-esque.
They're about to die and they want to go to heaven. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so like there's this one private school, Kamehameha High School, and I'm butchering how it's actually sounds. I tried so hard to learn how to pronounce it with the Hawaiian inflection, and I can't, so I'm sorry, I'm not saying it right. But Kamehameha High School is like the premier elite. It's a very good school. It's like also like high school, college prep. It's very expensive to get into, but to get into it, you have to prove Hawaiian lineage, and I think you have to be at least 1/16 Native Hawaiian to be able to go there. So every couple of years, there's some white asshole who's doesn't have any Hawaiian lineage, tries to get in, and they sue the school and they settle and they throw him a couple of million, and it's over, done and over with. If MAGA knew that that school existed, they would like lose their friggin' minds over it. Like, but because Hawaii's in the middle of the Pacific, and they, you know, they don't really care. Nobody. It's not that people don't care about Hawaii. It's just it's not in our periphery because it's so removed
it also doesn't have like a super popular fucking sports team that people can rally behind too. It looks like you have a question in the chat. It says,
and they prefer it that way.
It says, let's see, thank you, Tiki Tony, the mighty librarian. How easy was it to indoctrinate a single young adult in 1 quarter, strictly online teaching? Asking for a friend in Utah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, because my class is not a cult. And keep in mind, I want to, like, when people try to fight me personally as, like, indoctrinating the youth, my course is an elective. Now it's a required course. But it used to be a 2-credit elective, okay? That's online. So, like, if I'm indoctrinating somebody to cult-level mindset, I wouldn't know what I did, because like I cannot you'd have to ask the person, because like there's no possible way I've ever like caused somebody to break their brain and like use my voodoo magic skills
well, like, apparently that's all it takes to radicalize somebody.
Yeah, no, and now I teach a 3-credit face-to-face, like it's a required course. So like maybe that's a question I should ask them, because they're it's like they're Gen Z, Gen Alpha, so I get curious about their information. I'll ask them questions like just like as segues into our lesson. And usually it applies to what we're talking about. But that's a good question. How many of you feel like I indoctrinated you?
And how quickly did it happen?
Yeah, like no, I think for a college professor to like indoctrinate someone, I don't think it's possible, because you're teaching too many students all at once. And like indoctrination, you need smaller numbers and more one-on-one time.
I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 cents in there and say that the people that were saying that you're doing the indoctrination have no problem with replacing PBS with PragerU.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But man, and I didn't think, first of all, I didn't think anybody would really care about a stupid TikTok, like, and I'm not even really talking about Charlie Kirk's death. I'm just talking about how it's kind of messed up that like someone writes a benign comment and there's this like uproar to get him fired. Oh, okay. So you're fine with that, but like when someone on your team says some hateful shit and a brand doesn't want to deal with them.
I call it authoritarian fragility. Basically, it's the same thing as we saw in LA. The moment that you give like a tiny bit of pushback, instantly it's like they act like they were slighted, like you wouldn't even believe. That's how authoritarians do it. Is everything they do is perfectly fine, but the moment that you do the thing that they're doing, then all of a sudden there's a fucking problem.
Yeah, and so but the thing that sucks the most about that TikTok that I did is now I'm seeing all this merch for first of all, I don't know why anybody would put this kind of bullshit on their car, but it's like they like rest in peace Charlie Kirk and like freedom, but it's clear like Turning Point USA type and that's all in my like FYP now, and I'm just like, come on, guys, you got to get better at your algorithm. Like,
yeah, this is getting ridiculous.
Even, like I didn't even have them in the description. Well, I did have free speech. Maybe that's what it did it. But.
Well, I don't know, you know, I mean, the woke right does love their cancel culture. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah, and it's like they have no discernment bubble. Like when somebody actively calls for somebody to be fired or killed because they're, you know, black, Asian, or, you know, because of their racial or ethnic group, that's a little bit more serious than someone saying they're having a hard time sympathizing with somebody's death.
Doesn't matter. They wanna just go ahead and they want to use the power that they have to crush you under their heel, and you need to thank them for it. That's one, like I said earlier, that's one of the reasons why I think they're angry with us so much. I said this during we were watching the hearing, is because we refuse to capitulate. We refuse to be like, oh, okay. No, we're still fighting. I mean, there's people in the fucking streets. That's one of the reasons they didn't get to invade Chicago. Now they're trying to do it with Memphis. Little do they know Tennessee's a stand your ground state. So that's going to get real fucking interesting. The other thing about that is that the ability for them to label Antifa as a terrorist organization, okay, go ahead and label half the country. Okay, and then go ahead and label all the anti-fascist, you know, veterans, you know, from World War II as terrorists. Like, go ahead, let's go. If that's really the hill y'all want to die on, and expose your cards, okay, fine. Let's go ahead and hold you to that.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Like, I don't even know. But they got real, like, I'm just like, you people are wild. Like, I don't even know. The level of snowflake is just like, and like, I have to wonder if that one dude who kept arguing with me actually listened to the entirety of my TikTok, because it was a longer one. It was like about 5 minutes. So like if you could not possibly deduct like anything he's arguing from if you watch the whole thing. But then again, reason for, you know, like MAGA doesn't have reasoning or anything like that.
Nuance is the death of tyranny, because then you can't just paint with broad brushes and, you know, say the left is the enemy.
Wait, what was that? You cut out for a minute.
I said that the whole ability to use nuance as opposed to, you know, using broad strokes and just saying quote unquote the left, that's just something that is antithetical to fascism, because fascism requires such extreme polar opposites. There always must be an enemy. I think maybe it was Joy Reid who said it, like in a TikTok, or it was maybe even on a, you know, just a clip on YouTube. But she's like, we don't get it. You got the House, you got the Senate, you got the executive branch, you're getting all the DEI people fired, you're getting, you know, you're getting HBCUs called on with bomb threats. You literally have everything that you want. What the fuck's the problem? Why are you still so fucking angry? There's nothing more that you can have. But you know, but you know what the truth is? Do you know why they're fucking angry? It's because we won't accept them. It's because we won't invite them to our parties. It's because we won't say, yeah, you know, I mean, we want to be cool with you. We want to hang out with you. They would love, see, there's one thing we was talking about this when it came to misogyny. It was like, have you noticed that a lot of, pretty much every conservative dude, they want to have the kink kitten, but they also want to have a mother at the same time. It's, the idea that they're owed something that they haven't gotten is one of the reasons why they're so mad at us, because we refuse to be like, well, it's okay, you know, come and break bread with us, you know. They don't like the fact that we're the fun people. I mean, have you ever hung out with a whole bunch of conservatives? Dude, like, you're not allowed to have fun. You have to be like, I'm the most biblical, it's almost like hanging out with, if you've never really hung out with a lot of punk rockers, they can be kind of pretentious at times. Like, you know, say you don't know this one certain band or this, that, and the other. But with them, it's like the opposite. It's like the more fun, the more outrageous that you would be, the more you would be looked down on. So it's like, who can do their best fucking Ned Flanders impersonation? And that shit gets really old after a while, especially when they're mostly attracted to trans women and e-girls.
Yeah, and, you know, like, that's a really good point because, like, you know, I am never going to find jokes that make fun of people for the sake of like their ethnicity or their gender. Well, I mean, sometimes sometimes there's a funny like wife joke or you know,
can have the old Rodney Dangerfield boomer humor.
Yeah, or like, you know, Dave Chappelle type humor. You know, I can deal with like that kind of humor. But when it's just being like,
it's just like bigotry.
Humor is like the mask of like, I'm just joking around. Like,
can't you take a joke?
It's not funny. I have very limited time. So if I'm gonna go out and like hang out with people or talk to people, like, you better have something worthwhile for me to listen to. Otherwise, like, I'm gonna push back and like, you know, that's it. And what they want is to be socially accepted by everybody. And that's just not going to happen in our culture. Like, it's just not. Like, you know, you might get a good chunk of of Americans behind an ideal, but you're never going to get like it's socially acceptable.
Oh yeah, and let me tell you what, at those swingers parties, dude, you know how many conservatives are there just because the hypocrisy is the kink?
Yuck. Thinking about like Ted Cruz.
Tidy whitey Ted.
Yeah, he totally wears tidy whities.
Oh dude,
he totally does.
Yeah, all day long.
Gross. Ugh. So yeah, they're never like, and that's just, people don't like to be around hateful people, regardless of what it is. So like, you know,
I mean, I'll tell you this. I used to be quite the misanthrope, and when I say misanthrope, I mean like, man, like you could put me in a room and like, no matter what was going on, I'd find something to piss me off. And I had to go to therapy, obviously. And one of the things that I learned about being a misanthrope is about this pretty much the same thing as being a conservative. And it's nobody likes to hang out with nobody wants to hang out with grumpy people.
Yeah, I actually have a joke with my daughter about misanthropic people. Like, I mean, it's stupid. It's not going to be funny.
It's misanthropic and misanthropic. Like, I can never get it right.
I don't know. I don't think. But like, yeah, like like sometimes she watches a lot of Gen Z. Gen Z has a lot, and Gen Alpha has a lot of like similarities to boomers. Like the cynicism of boomers and like teenagers now is there. Like they're on point to match each other. It's just different levels of cynicism and what they want to do about it. That differs. So I call my daughter a Zoomer because it pisses her off, but it's kind of true. She's kind of like a boomer. She's mean like a boomer sometimes too, but it's like a different, it's not like, whereas a boomer will their cynicism and anger is like, has like racist connotation. Hers is like the stupidity of doing things just for the sake of doing them. and like it's a stupid rule, so why do I have to follow it?
Oh yeah, I totally get. I mean, I totally get that. That's righteous anger.
But like the cynicism and meanness is on par with one another, and like it's really funny to watch. But like, yeah, I think with the youth today, like I'm not sure they will save the world, but I'm fully behind their desire to burn it to the ground because I don't know how else we'll save this shit show. Like, I don't, like. I
mean, you saw what happened in fucking Nepal.
And One Piece is their flag. Like, that is wild that One Piece is going to be part of their history when they learn about this, like, in 5-10 years. And like that, I have a little bit of anger towards that because my daughter makes me watch anime, and a lot of times I like it, but she made me sit there through One Piece and I just couldn't get into it. I thought the kid was whiny about his yellow straw hat that always seemed to like blow away or whatever. Like
I don't think I've seen the anime you're talking about.
It's on Netflix, but the flag that the Nepalese students are flying is from One Piece.
Okay.
And, like it's an anime series. It's on Netflix, and I refused to finish it. I was like, I'm done. This is stupid. Okay, I humbled her. No, that's not the word. I indulged her.
Yeah.
I'm knee deep in Demon Slayer right now, which is I can deal with that one. But like One Piece, I was like, girlfriend, I'm done. Like I'm not watching. This is stupid. Like
this is brain rot. Speaking of brain rot, do you know how hard it's been trying to educate the general populace about the shooter's motivations? Like, and having to explain all the things that I've tried to keep from the general population about groypers and stuff, instead just bringing them a filtered in version.
Yeah, I imagine that would be challenging.
It has been.
How do you? Well, I guess it's like factions of like. I guess the best way you describe it is just factions within.
It's like if the Sharks and the Jets were racist and also really racist.
Yeah, I guess that's the way you can describe. Because to be honest, I really didn't even understand. Because the Groyper thing, I know it's been around a while, but it hasn't been really like.
Well, it's because you're far too intelligent to get involved with any of that. You understand?
But I study far right propaganda, so like, but like I would, I've been kind of like putting like a lot of new stuff to the side, because school started. But like, so I was like, wait, I didn't really understand which side was the Groyper in like this whole like of all the bigots and the racists and like in the mess that is like our
okay, imagine Nazis and then imagine super Nazis. But the super Nazis never leave their computers.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
That's pretty much the best way to describe it.
I have to get going. I have to go teach a class and indoctrinate some youth with my, because I am just that awesome.
You're just like that efficient.
I am that efficient. I have about 25 18-year-olds that are going to go get their minds bent by my. What are we talking about today? Oh, we're talking about more about algorithms and rage bait and clickbait and all that kind of good shit. So.
Yeah, if you can at all sort of like slip in an idea about what's going on and the idea of Horst Wessel, you can let them go ahead and do their own research.
Wait, say that again.
Horst
Say
Wessel.
That again. First Vessel?
No, Horst. Horst. Horst Wessel. Wessel. He was the the martyr for the Nazis, for them to gather around.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can do on that.
Yeah, because Kirk's getting vesseled hard. Okay, well, it's been excellent talking to you.
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good to chat and stuff. It's been a while.
I don't even know how long we've been on.
We've about 50 minutes ish.
About 50? That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be able to finish
But
this.
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was great seeing you and, well, talking to you, and we'll see you later.
Yep. Bye, guys. Bye, friends.
We're gonna finish up this villa, and then I guess we'll go ahead and save and call it a day. It was great getting to talk to the mighty librarian. Wanted to touch base with her and find out what the temperature was like around the educational, I suppose, water cooler. What's being said? All I know is I was watching that Senate hearing, getting more and more pissed off at every single time that every time Ted Cruz gets a chance to talk, all he does is just lie and lie. No one ever calls him out. I'd be one of the only reasons I'd ever want to be a politician is just so that I could sit on like an oversight committee just for the ability to call things out. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to do legislation to help people and stuff too, but I mean, God, we all know just how much your hands are tied. But just to be able to go on television and be like, no, you're a liar. No, exactly what he just said, those were all lies, and here's why. And then just go ahead and like have a gigantic board behind me that just reinforced everything that I was saying. Oh my God, Democrats are so fucking feckless when it comes to doing any pushback on Congress, I swear. This whole decorum thing, obviously you can see that they don't give a fuck about decorum. Dude used the word bullshit today. He said this both sides, violence on both sides is bullshit. As a Republican senator. Like, fine. If this is how we're gonna talk, like, we need to turn this shit more into the House of Commons. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm literally just trying to find 2 of these tablets so that I can upgrade my ship. Oh, excuse me. Well, I took out that leader. I took out a cultist. That leader is undiscovered. Why is that leader so undiscovered? Oh, I'm at a level 14. I can probably take this boar on finally. All right, let's see me either get my ass kicked by a boar or win. One of the two. Let's find out. My horse just runs smooth the fuck over anybody when I call him. He's total battle steed. All right, let's go up that road right there. Maybe we'll run into something that has some stone tablets along the way. Oh, cool. Some crazy ass camp. Camp of the bow bearers. Camp of the bow biters. Do you remember those when you were a kid? This is a big, mean, nasty boar. So this will be a fun battle. I'm on the same level as him, so let's see. All right, let's fucking do this. Are you gonna charge at me, punk? Oh, you got piggies, like piglets coming after me? Really? That's what we're doing? I'll take down your whole breed. Piggies! This is ridiculous. Breaking, Luigi's terrorism charges dropped. Well, that's good. Hey, do you remember when they marched him in fucking shackles? I remember that. Bad piggies. Damn it! It's the little mini piggies that are a pain in the ass. Damn you, mini piggies. It's your piggy army. Damn. That's right. I am the piggy master.
That was most impressive. For one that reeks of civilization.
What does civilization smell like?
Blood and fear. Yet, you defeated the beast.
There were moments when I thought it had me. It was a privilege to fight such a magnificent beast.
For whatever reason, Artemis has clearly blessed you and guided your hand.
I do what I do. Nothing more, nothing less.
I am Thalia, of the Daughters of Artemis. Our leader, Daphne, has been searching for someone. I believe it could be you. Will you meet with her?
Sure.
Right? I'll see that then.
You can find her at the Temple of Artemis in Phokis.
All right, I bet there's some treasure in this cave. Just reeks of piggy filth. There is no treasure. Damn it. Well, we'll go ahead and get out of this area. Got all this extra piggy to collect. That's right. That's right. That's right. Alrighty, gang. Thanks for joining me today for ViperTV Live. It's been great getting to hang out with everybody. Great getting to see Mighty Librarian. Talk a little business here and there about what's going on inside the education department. And, yeah, I'd probably say that one less cultist down, one more leader down, and we took out a gigantic piggy. Pretty good session. But until then, later skaters.
These young women